cannot contain my excitement for receiving this new Deluxe Reverb Tone Master Edition. So this is their solid state, very lightweight Deluxe Reverb amp. So lightweight and lovely that in fact when it arrived yesterday, I was so convinced that the box was empty that I took out my iPhone and I filmed a video of me unboxing it because I was like, oh, I'm going to have to report this to FedEx. No, it's in there. It's just 20 pounds of goodness. Let's talk a little bit about what is special about this amp. So it's all solid state, lightweight pine cabinet. I'm going to mispronounce the speaker. Neodymium, whatever the new technology is that makes it super light. And there's a bunch of features loaded into the back. It has a built-in power scaling. I'm actually running at 1/2 watt right now. So here's why I was so interested in this amp. I'm a professional musician, a gigging musician. I have a bunch of nice vintage tube amps, which are great. They're a little bit heavy, they're a little bit unreliable. And I start to notice these days that most of the time I'm not taking this amp to a room big enough to really open it up and use the delicious tube amp distortion. Most of my distortion is still just coming from my Strymon Deco or whatever transparent overdrive you like. So I was like, I've been a tube amp snob for several decades now, but I'm starting to realize maybe I'm wrong. And when I saw that they did this, I was like, well, I got to see what this thing sounds like. So now, truth be told, I'm using my Strymon Deco right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off so we can play that same opening riff with it on, I think I'm on a 1/2 watt mode with my volume at like 3.5. So that sounds, you know, I'm going to have to borrow my buddy Ashley's tube, the real tube version of this to ABM. He has one of the reissues from a couple of years ago. I swear that amp is the best sounding amp of any of the tube amps I've ever played. You know how it is with tube amps. Like, some of them, just for whatever magic in the wiring, even though they're all coming off the assembly line, one of them's got a little something to it. And man, Ashley's is a good one. Let's just do one thing here. We still rolling? I'm going to pull the power scaling back even further to whatever, like what's the lowest setting? 0.2 watts. So that says, so you can barely hear it. So there it is. Let's give it a little more, and let's switch to bridge pickup, and let's see. Give me a little more than that. Switch to my neck one. I want more distortion. Let's see, without clipping out my preamp, how much I can get. If I'm on 0.2 watts, I'm at like 6 now. Same riff, bridge pickup. got my bass and treble pretty low. Let's bring those up a little bit more, because with Fender amps, at least the original tubey ones, as you bring up, you know, my buddy Anthony used to say, oh yeah, you just wind all the knobs up to 10, and then, you know, you adjust it with your volume knobs. Anthony had one of those voices. Okay, that will give you more attack. Now, I'm going to pull it back to my preferred setting, but I think you get a little more clarity and fullness of sound in the slightly higher wattage settings. Bring that down a little. Nope, still clipping. Hold on. Wait, what song does that? I think there's a Black Keys song that does that. Now, being a Deluxe Reverb, let's play around with the reverb. Here it is, no reverb. I gotta play something that's not in B minor. Let's get out. Now, let's see. Let's bring in their reverb, see how accurately it splish-splashes. Sounds pretty convincing to me. Let's test the vibrato. Bring that in there. Ooh. I mean, yeah. You know, I wish one. Okay, so this will be video one. I'm gonna have to borrow the reissue and compare them side to side. So, before I play us out, I guess the main things I want to get across are supremely lightweight, pretty darn good at overdrive, although I would argue I'm still going to continue to use my Strymon Deco for overdrive purposes, but you're going to see me use this amp a lot more and more in my videos because it's just so convenient. And sure is convenient for gigging live. It's like I watch YouTube, like you do too, and I am well aware of all the great players on there, like RJ Ronquillo, and who's the guy who does living room gear demos? I think his name is Eric also. A lot of us are using modelers and digital things anyway, and I guess like with guitar, we're still caught up in this like, well though, I need to use tube amps though if I'm going to be for real. And yes, I'm never going to get rid of my tube amps, but you can bet that like, being able to throw a gig bag on my back with my Telecaster or my Mustang, and then my pedals in one hand and this amp in the other hand, that is the ultimate gigging scenario. That's just awesome. Now I'm just going to noodle around. I'm going to put my Strymon Deco back on, put my Jam Pedals Retro Vibe back on. I love that sound. And let's see, what have I not played? Oh, maybe I'll even put on some analog delay too.